Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are from government team. Firstly, let me introduce our team. I am Ikke Meliana P as a Prime Minister. This is Nila Hidayatul R as a Deputy Prime Minister. This is Tsania Qoulan T as a member of the government. And the last is Amira Khoirunnisa as the government whip. And here we will bring the motion entitled, "Is it appropriate for adolescents to be sentenced to life without parole?" Life imprisonment is a form of imprisonment for a serious crime that nominally means the entire remaining life of the prisoner, but in reality covers a period that varies between prescription. Life imprisonment are usually given to perpetrators of major crime, such as murder, rape, and so on. A person who is sentenced to life imprisonment means that he must be imprisoned until he died. When we the one of who is sentenced to life imprisonment is a teenager, our group will share our arguments, which for us it is no problem. A child who is said to have entered his teens means that he is able to distinguish between right and wrong. Of course, he also already knows that committing a crime is the wrong thing. Then, why is he still doing it? When he commits a crime knowingly, it means he must be prepared to bear all the consequences, including life imprisonment. The law in this country must be fair and equitable. That means the law doesn't look at age, unless there are other prerequisites governing the age limit for sentence, such as for minors. When a teenager is given leniency, it cannot guarantee that he will change and not repeat his mistakes again. Life imprisonment can also have a deterrent effect on offenders. If a teenager is sentenced to life imprisonment, he will think that the sentence that he gets will greatly impact on his life. He will lose his youth, he will be locked up and unable to move freely, he will feel embarrassed and become the thought of society. These things can make him determined to not commit crimes again. Apart from that, a life sentence can also be a warning to other teenagers to be more careful in their action and stay away from all kinds of crimes. If someone says that life imprisonment can ruin a teenager's future, then would a teenager who acts as a criminal if left unchecked not ruin the nation's future? Of course, yes. Because we know that teenagers are the next generation of the nation. Life in prison is not as bad as people think. In prison, they will be nurtured with positive things. He will not be tortured. They will be given counseling and some training that can foster creativity within them. Once again, the law in this country must be fair. We cannot use the excuse of being a teenager to be given tolerance for punishment. Everyone who commits a crime must be punished accordingly. If the punishment is not strict and forced, it is feared that more and more people will break the law.
Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, let me introduce our team. Maulidah as a leader of the opposition, and Cikal Cindara N as a deputy leader of opposition, and Rizki Ainun N, member of opposition, and last Naili Khoirotun N and opposition group. Children are mended and give from God. Almighty, one who has the dignity and worth as completely human. Legal treatment of children deserves serious attention, because children are the future of nation. When the influence of the surrounding circumstance, then it's not uncommon for children to participate in criminal act. It can be caused by persuasion, spontaneity, or just go along with it. Even so, it remains it's just a criminal act. However, for mental growth and development children, it is necessary to pay attention to differences in treatment in procedural law and criminal penalties. If the child is involved in a criminal case, of the judge might order the defendant under the XP return to his parent, his guardian, and maintenance with no punishment, or order to be submitted to government by not subject to a punishment. The distinction of treatment and treat regulated in the law is intended to protect and protect the children in order to be able to meet a long future. If children are sentenced to life in imprisonment, the population of the younger generation will decrease, even though the younger generation is that is needed for the future as the nation's successor.
Law is a strong foundation to rule people's behavior in a country. Everyone has the some rights in order to get law service and law sanction. In this era, criminalization have happened in society regardless of profession and social status. The lack of education improved the crime rate in society for adolescents. Most of juveniles who stop their school have done social things. They did bullying, drug abuse, robbery, rape, even murder. The case has been increasing since the era of technology has improved, especially at the age of 14 until 17. Have now some social deviations in the society. They do not consider the effect that will occur when performing their social violation. For some cases, most juveniles who do the social crimes case are given pardon of punishment or sometimes called amnesty by the judge. They are given opportunities to change their way of life in the future. For the drug abuser, for example, there is a place for them to rehabilitate in the rehabilitation center, and they are given experience and social skills which will help them to fight against the war in future. For some crime cases, there will be no amnesty for the perpetrators. They have to be sentenced to live without parole or amnesty in the rest of their life. This is done to create a general effect so that there will be no more victims happening in the some cases. It is fair enough, for example, of rape and murder cases. Especially murder means taking away someone's life with a specific purpose. The intent and purpose in question are giving some money, or there is a rupture between the perpetrator and the victim. It is fair that the defendant of murder will be sentenced to live without parole because he or she has done something that takes someone's life for personal gain and feel like the human rights. The sentence given was appropriately given by the judge because
This was done to prevent similar crimes happen in the future. Social sanctions are not enough to be given to the murderer since he or she has done fatal deeds. Thank you.
Crimes are happening around us whether we pay attention to them or not. These crimes are dangerous as murder are committed by all ages, but so young criminals in their juvenile age receive the same punishment as other criminals. Juveniles who kill people without any mercy should be treated as an adult and given juveniles life without trial. Some people say that juveniles don't deserve life sentence because their brain isn't even developed yet and lack awareness of their actions. But there are proof that they realize what they were doing. For example, the murder of Jennifer Jenkins' pregnant sister and her husband. Jenkins' sister describes begging for the life of her unborn child as the killer shot her. He reported to a friend who testified at his trial about his serial kill that he just wanted to see what it would feel like to shoot someone. It shows that the murderer will shoot someone for the sake of having fun, and if they are given punishment, they will not be deterred by what they do, and could have inflicted death to others.
Thank you so much for the argument. A person who's sentenced to life are still humans, which means they're able to differentiate what's wrong and what's right, what's wrong and what's right. These people are still dangerous, we are not. There is no guarantee if young adults who did a major crime to be put into society would no longer feel the remorse of what they have been done. For example, a school shooter who killed people around the school without a remorse. Do they deserve a life sentence after they have what they have been done? Of course, ladies and gentlemen. There is no such thing called if this or that would affect an obvious criminal's mental state, because there is no mercy for a murderer as long as they have a full concern on what they have been doing. A murderer do not deserve a life among people who have a peaceful life, because it can cause a fatality. Thank you so much.
I disagree because in many cultures, adulthood began at the start of puberty. The strong teenager wasn't official until the Industrial Revolution, when they wanted to prolong schooling before children were sent to work. Psychology started that a person acquires formal operational thinking by the age of 12. This form of thinking is the most mature and abstract thinking stage in development. This is why criminals should be sentenced based on their crimes, not their age. A minor should be able to receive life in prison without the possibility of parole if the crime were such a sentence. They then should be under the same standard as any person who commit a crime such as murder. The key line is whether or not they had the ability to form intent. If the criminal minor or not safe that standard, they should be sentenced accordingly regardless of age. Dr. Jerome Kagan, a developmental physiologist from Harvard, a brain study that shows that adolescents do not typically have reduced legal ability for the crime they commit show more this defense in court as the Supreme Court ruled this sentence unconstitutional. Groups such as this one give statistics such as that 80% of juvenile life experience violence in their household. They believe that somehow this makes this able because of the way their brain develop. They also state they are more given to impulsivity, recklessness, and are more susceptible to purpose. They say that because the minor are in different stage of brain development, they have a great chance of rehabilitation. One of their claims is that every other country has been life without a possibility of care being given the minor. However, their strongest supporting claim remains the issue of brain development. They believe that minors do not have the brain maturity to take full ability for their action, and other supporting point they use in the sense of self-worth. Thank you.
As on the statement from the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, we can get conclusion. A child who has entered the teenage, that they are also to distinguish between right and wrong. Of course, they also already know that committing a crime is the wrong thing. If they still doing that, of course, they must be prepared all the consequence, including life imprisonment without parole. The law in this country must be fair and equal. That means the law does not look at age, unless there are other prerequisites governing the age limits for sentences, such as for minors. When a teenager is givingly sensitive, it can guarantee that will change and not repeat the mistakes again. Life imprisonment can also have a deterrent effect of offenders. If a teenager is sentenced to live in prison, they will think that the sentence they get will great impact. They will lose his youth, look out and unable to move freely, feel embarrassed and become the issue of their society. This thing can make him deterrent to not commit crimes again. Apart from that, a life sentence can also be a warning to other teenagers to be more careful in their action and stay away from all kinds of crimes. Once again, the law in this country must be firm. We cannot use the excuse of being a teenager to be given tolerance for punishment. For some crime cases, there will be no amnesty for the perpetrators. They have been sentenced to live without parole in the rest of their life. This is done to create a deterrent effect so that there will be no more victims happen in the same case. For example, of rape and murder cases. It is fair that the defendant of murder will be sentenced to life without parole because they have done something that takes someone's life for personal gain and violates the human right. That's all from us. Thank you.
None of the ones they kill us will, the ones the defendants have killed us with. Live without parole will give them punishment for a lifetime of pain and suffering. Does it cost to kill someone? Of course. But if we both take the amount of money that we ask each time to kill an individual, millions of dollars could be spent on violence prevention, efforts, and service. To keep someone live without parole will not only ease the pain of all families, but could make the community help and ease the pain of worry and hate. The death penalty places the focus on the legal and not the human. Each year in U.S., children as young as 13 are sentenced to live without parole. But permitting live without parole on children does threaten the children's rights. It is the human laws that so permit those who commit their crimes before the age of 18 do not have life without parole. We are required to follow human rights law as well federal and state laws when dealing with criminal sentence. Children have the same right as adults but also additional rights. When you look at children, you have to look at the needs of the children as well. All children need protection as they mature. But not only that, you have to take into account the physical and mental immaturity, physical needs and care of a parent and how they are taken care of before and after birth. Taking all this into consideration so play a role in the elaboration of the rights and confusion of children. Placing them in prison with adult will hinder their treatment because it is not appropriate to their age or legal status. If we take their age and the fact that we need to promote their rehabilitation, children should be committed by focusing on positive matters like education and not so much punishment. Children tried as adults are treated rather than by their age. Then given adult sentence, live without parole in majority where you are 12 or 55 when the crime is committed. Sentencing them at the age of 12 will show there is nothing that can be done to help children once they become a member of society. It will banish the child and not give them an expression that is blessed with birth. Hard work and time could promote a positive change in the child. The census could tell the child as well society that child will be rejected and there is no hope they might change their life once they reach a certain age, or that 18-year-old isn't capable of understanding the consequences of their action in most cases. However, an 18 years old is usually going to be very different from man or woman at the age of 70 unless you're willing to turn your presence into nursing homes. Even individual can rehabilitate. Every effort should be made not to rid that person off. So then what do you expect for the child once released into the world after being held in jail with adults for the interleave? Their punishment must be appropriate to age and legal status in order for punishment to leave the crime and age for rehabilitation. That's all for us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.